I'd like to thank Keren very much for organizing this meeting. My name is Andreas Nicklas, and I'm responsible for business development in Europe for Lithium. And in addition, I'm an adjunct professor for social media at the Technical University in Munich. And myself, I'm located in Zurich, Switzerland. In my presentation, I like to give you an understanding that every business solution is built on user-generated content. And the best way to produce user-generated content is to run a community which is vibrant and where you have a lot of interaction taking place. And of course, such a community should be integrated with social networks. In my presentation, I like to go through the different types of social business processes like social marketing, social commerce, social support, and social ideation. And I like to show you how these different types of social business processes are built on a community platform and how they are covering the entire customer experience cycle. And last but not least, I like to show you what are the business benefits and how to integrate these kind of business processes into enterprise-wide business processes. My agenda is the following. First, I'd like to briefly introduce you to Lithium to you. And after that, I'd like to talk about how companies today are introducing social for their business. And after that, I like to explain how social business platforms, community platforms are working and how they support social business processes. Last but not least, I like to explain you and show you some use cases and the benefits for clients using social for their business. Lithium is an American company headquartered in San Francisco in California, and we are still, because it's a young market, a tiny company, but we have a very impressive customer list. So our target list are mainly big companies, well known in the market, and we are very proud that Google is one of our big customers. And as you maybe know, Google has the intention to develop any software they're using on their own. And in fact, Lithium is the only third-party software provider to Google, and their entire AdWords business, which is their main revenue machine, is running on Lithium, including Google Glass. We have a lot of customers, famous customers in Europe, like Lego, for example, the Royal Bank of Scotland, Telefonica, Deutsche Telekom. So all of the very big customers in Europe are already customers of Lithium. If you combine all the community members and all the people being a member of our social business community solutions, we are one of the biggest internet properties in the world, and we are now number 17 of the biggest internet properties. Our solutions are 100% cloud-based, so we are a SaaS company, and we have subsidiaries all around the world in New York, Austin, London, Zurich, Paris, Munich, and Singapore. We are very strong in different markets. So for example, 6 of the top global mobile companies are customers of Lithium. In Europe, the 30th biggest telecom companies are customers of Lithium. Also, we have a very strong customer base in technology. We just looked at Google, but others like HP are customers of Lithium as well. And currently, 18 of the top 100 most valuable brands are customers of Lithium. And we are very strong in retail. So for example, Best Buy, or in Europe, Casino Group in France are customers of Lithium. We are very strong in finance. Here in Europe, Royal Bank of Scotland, Barclays, or Kotak Consors, ING Bank, they are all customers of our company. We are rated as the #1 provider for social business solutions by both Forrester and Gartner. And we are approximately 3 years ahead of any kind of competitive products for community-based social business solutions. I will not go into detail. If you're interested in more details about these analyst ratings, we can simply provide you the analyst reports if you're interested in. The next slide is based on data from McKinsey.
I'd like to interrupt this lecture with a commercial from Corona. Anybody for a Corona? There you go. More on the way, coming. Sorry, this is the Israeli thing.
So the next slide is based on data from McKinsey. And McKinsey had a look at the market and how companies are introducing social for their business. And you can see 5 different steps. The first steps companies are usually starting with is that they like to understand how their customers are behaving by using social. They understand that they cannot reach a large part of their customers by using traditional media like print or like TV. And therefore, they like to understand how their customers, for example, behave within social networks. The second step is that they establish presences in social networks, for example, implementing a Facebook fan page. So this is about acquiring customers and connecting with customers. And today, more than 90% of all the big corporations are in step 1 or in step 2. The minority is now in step 3, 5, 4, and 5. Step 3 is about engaging with customers, interacting with your customer and your prospects, and also to guide the conversation with your target groups. And this is all about creating a social hub built on a community. While a social network is good to acquire customers, to connect with customers, only a community allows you to engage with customers and to have the interaction and to produce user-generated content. The fourth step is about using user-generated content, social networks integrated into your community for social business processes. And once you have the social business processes in place, for example, for social commerce or social support, it's all about integrating these business processes into enterprise-wide business processes. For example, social support into your social CRM system. As said, a lot of customers are starting today by, I will answer questions at the end of the presentation. A lot of companies are starting to implement or to establish presences, for example, within social networks. And what they experience is the more successful their social network presences are, the more their own portal is sucking. Simply because these social networks are stealing traffic from the portal. But if you look at companies like Swarovski, for example, you will see they have a very successful Facebook presence, but all of their e-commerce tools and features are on their portal. And for that reason, they are suffering from an e-commerce point of view, while they are very successful by maintaining their social network presences. And the only way and the only trick, to solve this solution is by running a community on your portal. And this will help to get back the user-generated content, which not longer resides only in Facebook, but also on your portal. It helps you to get back the interaction, because the interaction should not take place in any kind of social networks, but on your portal, and to get back the customers and the target groups by simply converting members of the social networks into community members. So it's all about owning your target groups, it's all about owning the user-generated content, and it's all about owning the interaction. And once you have such a community in place on your portal, you are able to implement the social business processes. And the next slide is showing the different kind of these social business processes. It starts with generating awareness for your brand, for your service, for your product, by helping, for example, customers helping other customers. It's about winning new prospects considering your products by having them, for example, looking at rating and reviews to evaluate your products and then buy them. It's all about using social and user-generated content to support social marketing and social commerce, and I will give you some more detailed examples a little bit later. And once a customer bought your product, then he will gain experience. And this is all about social support. Customers are helping us, the customers. If you have a problem, you simply raise a customer service request, and this service request will not be answered by a call center, but by other customers. So it's about social support. You gain experience with the product, you share this experience with other customers. Other customers will help to fix your problems, and it's all about using and enjoying the product. And if you are satisfied with the product, you will be a loyal customer, and then you will help other customers to buy the product and to gain experience with the product. And the circle starts again, and this is all about social business processes. And again, all of that is based on user-generated content, and it's very important to understand that in today's world, 90% of your customers trust peer-to-peer recommendations, and only 14%, only 40% trust any longer advertisement. And that's a very, very important change in the market. And these kind of community-based business solutions are built on the Lithium social business platform. And the core of this social business platform is the community. The community is built on some very specific algorithm based on gamification and based on human behavior. And this is the reputation engine and the workflow engine. And these algorithms, they make sure that the community will be vibrant. If the community is not vibrant, if the people, the community members do not interact, they will not produce any kind of user-generated content. If you use such a solution for social support and customers are not helping us, the customers, it doesn't make any sense. And for that reason, vibrancy is so important for any kind of community solution. And that's the big differentiator of Lithium against any other kind of competitive solutions, because our community solutions are really vibrant. On top of the community, you have all the social apps. And these social apps are supporting the different kind of social business processes we saw earlier. So for example, forums, blogs, ideas and contests for social innovation, question answering and the knowledge base for social support, and other like rating reviews, for example, for social commerce. All of that is available on smartphones because you need to cover all the different kind of digital touch point, including smartphones. And of course, as mentioned earlier, you need to integrate the social networks, the social web into your social business platform. And at the bottom, you have all the tools needed to manage communities, to understand the behavior of your community, but also to develop and to admin the community you're running. And all of that can be integrated through REST APIs or widgets into back-end systems. So you maybe ask yourself, what are the business benefits of using these kind of social business solutions? So for example, if you look at social marketing, you will find out that if you're running a community, you will see a big increase of search engine optimization, because close to 40% of the web traffic is coming out of user-generated content, simply because search engines like Google, they prioritize user-generated content to all the other content available in the web. So you will see a big increase in your web traffic coming out of search engine optimization. If you look at sales, so about increasing conversion rates and spend, you will see that a community in average increases the conversion rates of your e-commerce platform by 25%, and that community members, for example at Sephora, spend 2.5 more than non-community members. And it's also about advocacy. So as mentioned earlier, superfans can help to promote your brand, to promote your services and your products. And usually these kind of superfans spend 33 hours per month, to help other customers to promote your products and your services. It's also a lot about cost savings. So, for example, if customers are helping other customers, there's not longer a need that the call center is taking care of the service requests. And the result is, and we can prove that with a lot of customers, a deflection of calls, and this will save you a tremendous amount of money. It also increases efficiency, because we implemented very advanced workflows helping you to deal with social service requests or social commerce requests, for example. And it also increases loyalty, because if a customer is using a community, it will automatically result in an increase of the Net Promoter Score, and I will give you an example later on. So the next slide is about social marketing and how brands turn customer passion into marketing assets. And I like to show you the different use cases. The first use case is the American Diabetes Association. And this is one of our customers, and they achieved a 9-time search engine optimization improvement simply by running a community. And today, most of their traffic is coming out of search engine optimization based on their user-generated content. And they are seeing a 3x increase time on site, people spending time on their portal. And they also see a 30% increase in loyalty and people returning to their website. And of course, this results in a much higher amount of donations. Another example is GiveGav. GiveGav is a very successful subsidiary of Telefonica in the United Kingdom, and 75% of their new subscribers are driven by word of mouth. So imagine that 75% of your new customer base is generated with any kind of marketing spending. So these two slides, I think, are a very good example how social marketing works and how a company can benefit out of it. And the same is true for the Net Promoter Score. So the Net Promoter Score of GiveGav is as high as the Net Promoter Score of Google and Apple, despite the fact that GiveGav is more or less an unknown brand. And the reason is that the community and customers are promoting your product to other customers is a very authentic way to promote a company and a brand, and for that reason the Net Promoter Score is so high. The next use case is about social commerce in order to drive sales by using peer reviews and answers to attract more customers and increase buyers' confidence and the conversion rate. And a very good example is Sephora. Sephora is using a community built on Lithium, and as mentioned earlier, a community member is spending 2.5 more than an average customer. And the very interesting thing is that the 4 is one of the best examples how you can integrate retail, so offsite, with social, with online. And it's a very, very successful community for retail of beauty products. And this is how the social commerce business process is working. Here you have the prospects and the target groups, and they are looking at the rating and reviews, and they use rating and reviews built on user-generated content to inform and to help them with their purchase process. And once they like a product, they move it to the shopping cart by using the catalog, and then they buy the product, and afterwards you can connect the eShop and the catalog, for example, with ERP and CRM systems. And they use also other tools, social tools like the question answering built on user-generated content, the knowledge base built on user-generated content to educate themselves about the products they're interested in. They use forums and blogs to ask other customers for help. And of course, they use content generated or provided by the company. And this model is maybe very familiar to you because if you look at Amazon, why are you buying products from Amazon? Not because Amazon is an online retailer, there are so many more. It's not because they offer the cheapest prices. It's simply because you're interested in the reviews, in the product reviews of other customers. And this is what I mentioned earlier. It's about trusting peer-to-peer recommendations. The next use case is about social support. So how communities can help to deflect calls of your call center, and most important, to improve the customer experience. British Telecom in the UK is a very good example. Today, 53% of all their customer service requests are coming in by using social channels. And what's your best guess if you look 18 months back? 18 months back, what do you think, how many customers, 12 months back, how many customers did use social channels for customer service?
Less than
10%. 8%. So this shows the fast change in the market, how customers are using social channels. And today, 45,000 calls are deflected by using the Lithium forum. Close to 5,000 calls are deflected each month by using Twitter, and also close to 5,000 calls are deflected each month by using YouTube. So people using social channels instead of calling the call center. And because customers are serving other customers, you do not need any longer the call center to take care of these customer service requests. And as you can imagine, this provides tremendous cost savings for this kind of telco providers. The same is true for Lenovo, which is a big provider of laptops and PCs. So in a little over 18 months, 3.7 million customer service requests were served by community provided solutions, and their support costs are down by 20%. And this is amazing. I mean, imagine how much money you can save simply by using social support. And there are two ways how to provide social support. The one way is that you use Lithium Social Web, which is very similar to the classic way how a call center serves incoming telephone calls. So customers are using Facebook or Twitter to raise a customer service request, and this will be answered by the call center by using Lithium Social Web, and you can integrate this kind of social solution with your CRM backend systems. But you will gain much more benefit if you're using such a social business solution built on a community. So the community will help to serve the customer service requests, regardless if they're coming in by using Facebook, Twitter, Google, or maybe Lithium. And the social apps, as mentioned before, they will support these kind of customer service requests. So question answering machines built on user-generated content, knowledge bases built on user-generated content, and of course, form and blogs where customers can ask other customers for help. And all of that can be integrated into back-end systems. For example, Lithium is currently approaching a very, very tight partnership with SAP for CRM and for ERP integration. And this shows you how social support works. You can staff an army to treat social as a channel, but this is very different to peer-to-peer support, where other customers helping each other. And this is a brief overview how social support can help you to save money. In average, if somebody calls a call center by phone, it costs you approximately $10 to serve a call. If you use social channels, it goes down to $3 for each customer service request. And if you use a community where customers are helping other customers, it's going down to 15 cents. And last but not least, I like to show you how the use case for social innovation looks like. Casino, which is the largest food retailer in France, is using Lithium for crowdsourcing, for social innovation. And their customers are deciding, for example, which kind of products Casino is selling for natural food. So this helps you to get feedback from your customer base. What are the right products to sell? What are the right services to deliver? And it definitely helps you to be more successful, because if you use the knowledge of your customers, you can make sure that your products and your service are really fit 100% to the market demand. And this is a very, very successful crowdsourcing solution used in France for all of the supermarkets of Casino Group. Another example of innovation or ideation is Barclays Bank. Barclays Bank is producing white label credit cards, and they're using the communities to design the features of their credit cards. So, for example, the credit card of Walmart is a credit card of Barclays. And Barclays, for example, they have not a real competence in what kind of features are needed for a credit card used in a food store. And they use the communities to help, for example, to use customers to help them to decide the right features, what are the right kind of discounts and loyalty systems for these kind of white label credit cards. And this is how the social innovation and ideation business process works. And again, you have the communities, and you have social apps like ideas, contests, forums and blogs and surveys to gain knowledge about the right services and the right products to offer to your customer base. And last but not least, and this is my last slide, why is Lithium such a trusted choice? For one reason, we provide one platform for all kind of different social business processes and for all kind of different social business solutions. And instead of bothering you with 10 or 20 or 50 different tools, you simply buy one platform. And as mentioned earlier, we make sure that your community and your social business solutions are really vibrant, that your customers are interacting with your brand, with your services, with your product, and that they are interacting with each other. And we have a large expertise to make sure that your social business solutions are successful. Today, we are now running more than 500 communities worldwide. Thank you very much. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yeah.
Two questions, please. First one is, one of the problems I face when talking with customers is that decision makers are a baby boomer era. And when I talk to them about social networks, the only thing that comes to mind is Facebook, and means that it's a waste of time. How do you prove your business case? I mean, I've seen this definitely proves to me, but he understands Facebook and says it's a waste of time.
The most important thing when you talk to companies is that you think about the appropriate use case. And once you talk to the customer and once you identify the right use case for them, the right social use case, regardless if it is social marketing or social innovation, the next step is to figure out the business value for this specific company coming out of the use case. This is the only way to talk to customers regarding social business solution. I mean, you have to keep in mind, as I explained earlier, Facebook is only good to acquire customers and to build a relationship between your brand, your service or your products to your customer or your target groups. But keep in mind that just 3% of all the people who liked your fan page will come back for a second time. And this is the proof that Facebook does not work for engagement. And so, I mean, it's, yeah, these are some of the things you need to keep in mind when you talk about social with your customers. But if you do not understand the use case, the appropriate use case for your customer, you will fail for sure.
Do super users get being rewarded?
It's very different for every community. So, for example, I mentioned GiveGav, which is a mobile phone company of Telefonica. They reward their super fans, but also their ordinary community members with free phone minutes.
I will also show some examples just in a couple of minutes of what our customers actually do in the real world to make it a little bit more.
Swisscom, which is another customer of us, they reward their super fans, for example, by inviting them to dedicated workshops to introduce new products to these kind of super fans before they announce the product to the market. So, for example, they gave the iPhone 5 a few weeks to their super fans before they gave it, before they announced it to the market. And this is very smart because once you announce a new product, a new service, you already have the super fans, you know, having the knowledge in place to support all kind of questions, especially when new product announcements are happening. There are several ways to really reward your super fans, and this is very different, again, by the use cases and the different communities.
It's enough to keep them motivated?
Yes, it's definitely enough.
I think we will talk about motivational patterns when I show some examples anyway, because this is always the kind of biggest concern, is what I'm doing interesting enough for customers to actually participate or to share, or, you know, how do I keep them engaged? That's one of the core questions that we always face. So I will try to show you some examples of what customers do, and then you can judge, is that enough? And even if it's not enough for you, is it enough for your customers or your prospects? So we will have a look at some examples.
It's important to keep in mind that GiveGav is an exception. Usually, companies do not reward their community members. And the biggest mistake you can make is to reward your community members by giving them money.
Mm-hmm.
That is this is terrible. Yeah.
Nahon, you don't mix social business with
Commerce itself.
exactly.
Yeah.
You don't mix social norms with business norms.
Yes.
You don't do that.
Well, it's very easy. If I like to buy a product from company X, and you are a super fan or a community member of company X, and I know that you will get money for recommending a product to me, you think I have an issue with your credibility. And for that reason, we strongly recommend not to pay community members or super fans.
So what's the trick?
We will. I will show
He will cover it later.
Give them a present, but you don't pay them money. It's about rewarding them.
It's all
Go
about
back to the book.
yeah. It's all about
No, it's in the book.
it's all about human behavior. But Jürgen will cover it later.
I want to follow up on this question. You know, the theory of altruism in the way that you can engage with people was written, I think, by Titmus in '74, LSE. It's history. The problem is that as time goes, more and more publishing companies and media advisors would recommend to pay people, so-called innocent people, to give the recommendations. So the market is being spoiled. And that means that when you lose credibility once, you won't have credibility again. Because some media firm just paid people to recommend a product, and I bought it, and I realized that I was actually cheated.
Yeah.
The next time I won't trust.
Exactly.
any
Exactly.
person. It's a matter of free riders and a matter of a market that goes out or is going to change. Because people, at the end of the day, the 93% of you presented would not believe others.
Exactly.
This will happen. And my question is, what you do next? Because in 5 years' time, the business model of trust will disappear. Sadly, I mean, I believe in that.
Why? Why do you think it will disappear?
Because as I told you, if, for instance, if I fall once by following a recommendation, a funded recommendation, on a friend on Facebook who was bought or got money from a company to recommend, the next time that somebody will come and recommend, I won't be able to verify that that's an authentic recommendation. Now it goes over all the social business, because if I'm asking somebody to help me make decisions, and this is what I'm doing in my company, I need this trust.
Yeah, and we have a mechanism built in, which is far advanced, for example, of what you see at Amazon today, because our mechanism is the rating. So the community is rating, the reviews. So if you, for example, providing good content, they will rate you higher than somebody who is providing, let's say, less quality kind of content. So the community itself is also deciding, about the quality of content and the quality of the community members contributing to the community.
Can I help you on that?
Yeah.
We also have. We also have a fairly sophisticated mechanism in the backend that, for example, allows to identify experts that have a certain, expertise in an area, and only allow them, for example, to submit a review or something, or to answer a question from a customer. So, of course, there has to be some technology, because if trust is destroyed, the whole model doesn't work. But I somewhat disagree that this is something that kind of destroys the model of credibility and liability. I don't think that will happen, and we try to address it from a technical perspective. And I'm happy to show you some stuff in the back end if we have more time. So,
yeah, next one.
In both presentations, one of the things that I felt as though was missing was much of these conversations were actually directed towards B2C customers rather than B2B customers. And I was wondering if you could address best case scenarios or best practices.
Yeah.
I will show it.
In terms of social media towards businesses rather than customers.
Yeah, that's a very good point. 70% of our customers are using social for B2C, and 30% of our customers are using it for B2B. And we have very, very good B2B social business solutions in place. For example, Mercury, which is a big insurance company in the United States, is using our social business solution to serve their 20,000 insurance sales agents. Hey. And another example is Bombardier. Bombardier produces trains, but also marine products. And they are using our community, our social business solution, to serve their entire dealer network. So they have 3,000 dealers worldwide, and there are really good examples I can provide you for business-to-business social business solutions.
So, I mean, one of the things in terms of the presentations is I felt as though LinkedIn was actually not mentioned. And for me, it seems as though that of all the social platforms is the one that affects business the most in terms of having a B2B connection with actual decision makers rather than, as we're talking about, evangelists or influencers on a B2C level. So I'm just wondering if you've come across best practices or solutions in terms of how companies can actually get through the noise and actually zero in on the people that actually are able to interact with your company on a financial level rather than a social level,
yeah.
through social media.
Yeah. Okay, so
talking about customer experience, a few minutes ago, I just got a text message from Domino's Pizza that pizza will be here in 5 minutes. So let's have a 10 minutes break and then come back to 2 more sessions.